Hopefully you enjoyed that time getting up and out of your seat a little bit. What's always interesting with this activity, and I've seen it done a couple times now, is the different reactions that people have when it's announced that there's $10 on the line. There's some people who just like jump right up like before we're even done and are like, I'm on it. I will get all 10. There are some people that are like, yeah, sure, I'll go. I'll check it out. I'm not gonna like, elbow anyone out of the way or anything, but I'll go check it out. And then there's always a group that's kind of like, meh, I'll just kind of sit back and watch other people search. I don't really care about $1 or 10. I'll just let other people do it and I'll just kind of observe, right? Every year, it's the same thing. And I think that is so reminiscent of the way we sometimes react to our faith. There's always a group of people who are super into their faith. They're in every single organization. They are going to Mass every single week, every single holy day of obligation, maybe even daily. They are sharing that faith with everyone around them, super into it. You've got a bunch of people who kind of go in with the feeling of, well, if I get something out of it, I'll show up. If I like the priest, sure, I'll go to church. If I, feel something, if I felt something last week, okay, I'll go again this coming week. But if I didn't really get much out of it, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. And then there's a group of people that will just kind of stay at home when it's convenient because they'd rather, do something else. They're not super involved. They think, yeah, it's something that I know of. It's something that can be important, but only when it's maybe convenient in my life. Like if there's not too many other things in the way, I will go. But luckily for us, God doesn't have a variety of reactions when it comes to what he wants from us. He is always all in all the time. And we know that through Scripture, right? We have two really important parables that highlight that reaction of God for us. We have the parable of the lost sheep, where there is a shepherd who has 100 sheep, and one of those sheep goes missing. And the good shepherd, as Jesus tells us, will leave the 100 sheep to find the one lost sheep. Now, in Jesus' time, that is absurd. No shepherd's going to do that. They're always going to stay with the herd and let that one wander off a cliff, and whatever you chose to leave, it's your business, sheep. But God doesn't react that way. Jesus tells us that he's going to come after us. He is going to search for us no matter what we do. The same thing with the parable of the lost coin. In the parable of the lost coin, the woman completely upends her house, cleans everything, moves everything around to find her one lost coin. Something that some people might think is trivial. Something that's like, oh, I dropped, some coin fell out of my pocket. I'm not really going to be bothered to, go down and pick it up. And yet that woman searches day and night for that coin. That's the same thing that God does for us. It doesn't matter if we're that shiny, pristine, new $50. It doesn't matter if we're the old, crusty penny. He's going to seek us out, and he's going to want to be with us. That is why we are so blessed to be part of his family. And that's what confirmation is all about, is renewing that relationship with God, revisiting, where am I in my relationship with the Lord? Am I that person that is super gung-ho? Am I going after that lost sheep? Or am I that person that's kind of meh? Could I do more? Because as we know, a relationship is best when it's two-way. A relationship is only a fruitful relationship when both people are in. And so a good analogy that I like to think about is if there's a doorway between you and God, God's always going to be on the other side of that door. Is your door open, or is your door shut? So as we prepare for confirmation, receiving our other sacraments like going to Mass, going to reconciliation, is going to help prepare us to make sure that that door is open between us and God, that we're seeking Him just as much as He's seeking us. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is have you guys get into your packets. There should be a piece of paper that has a bunch of different statements on it. It's yellow. Okay, good. Do they each have one? Okay. So you should have one as the confirmandee. You should have one as the sponsor. So this is where you're going to want your pens. So there's a bunch of different just beginner statements on there, like I wish, I hope, I dream, I believe. So we're going to give you a couple minutes just to work independently. So how would you finish those statements? There's absolutely no right or wrong answer. We are not necessarily looking for like a super gaudy answer. It is just what comes to mind when you read those statements. So we're going to have you work individually for a couple minutes, and then we're going to have you share with your sponsor and your confirmandee. So we'll let you know when it's time to do that sharing. But right now, just go ahead and fill those out. What is the first thing that comes to mind?